Every year, the Oscars are hailed as the ultimate celebration of cinema, a glamorous night where Hollywood's best are honored. But what if it's really a ritualistic ceremony designed to solidify occult power? Nick, we're doing the Oscars. This is MKUSUal. This is MKUSUal. It's like MK Ultra, but more normal. I am Dennis.
I'm Nick.
This is Nick. I figured this one would pep you up a little bit.
There's some naughty boys and girls in Hollywood. That's all I'm
There
going to say.
God, I hate this one's such a dichotomy for me because there's some serious dark shit. But then also it's kind of funny. I don't know. To me, this is kind of funny. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's not going to be funny by the time we get through this, but we're going to start with a video that you sent me.
Okay.
About the 2014 Oscars.
Hi. Hey, Jeffrey. How are you? How's everybody doing? Good? Oh, hi. Happy? Yes. Carrie. Is anybody hungry? I just feel like everybody's got to be hungry right now. Good. I was hoping you'd say that because I have this crazy idea that I will order pizza. And so if I do, I don't want it to go to waste. Who will eat pizza if I... Jennifer? Yes? Harrison? Yes? Yes? All right. Too large? What do you think? I'm going to order some pizza. That's what I'll do. So I borrowed Pharrell's hat, and I thought I'd pass it around and get some money for the pizza because nobody ever really... What do you have, Harvey? 200?
200.
That's a start.
That's a start.
Let's see. What do you have, John? Would you have 20? Kevin?
20. That's for you.
Thanks so much. Okay. Guess what? Pizza's here. Hello. Come on down. I lied. We weren't going backstage. Okay. So we have just vegetables with like tomato sauce. We have cheese. We have different kinds. Who's hungry? Who's going to eat on this side? Okay. Cheese. That's a cheese. Yeah. Julia wants cheese. Who's your favorite movie star? They're here. Well, who do you want to talk to? The whole thing? All right. Great. Great. And then I don't have any money. Who here has... Sandy? Where's Harvey Weinstein? Harvey.
Okay. Ellen Weinstein Spacey pizza for the uninitiated.
Pizza in the rabbit hole.
Yeah, take them down the pizza rabbit hole.
Well, the pizza gate rabbit hole opened the door that it was like coded language for lewd and extremely perverse acts with children. I forget the name of the pizza plate, Cosmic Pizza or something like that.
Yeah.
And they had all these anyway, that's where the Pizzagate scandal came from. That's where this is like...
Let me throw this out here. The Pizzagate thing happened because in 2016, WikiLeaks dropped a lot of Hillary's emails.
Yes.
Emails related to that campaign and that ring of influence, especially John Podesta. And in these emails, they kept using pizza as a code. They would say things like, we need a pizza-related visit to the White House. I'm not sure if pizza's code for something, but we'll go with it. 2 pizzas with extra. It keeps using those. It also used the code words hot dog and cheese. Hot dog was supposed to be a little boy, cheese for a girl. Kept referencing MAPS, which if you know what MAP stands for, some people think it had to do with spirit cooking. Famous names like Tom Hanks, Lady Gaga, and Madonna showed up in these pizza-related emails. Pizza is something. Pizza is at least drugs.
It is
probably little boys.
most likely human trafficking, coded language for human trafficking.
But of all the people, Weinstein,
Harvey Weinstein, Kevin Spacey, Ellen, they've all been accused of shit related to pizza.
Yeah, pizza.
The craziest part of that whole video was Brad Pitt passing out paper plates like it was an actual pizza party.
I mean, absent this like conspiracy world we live in, it's kind of a funny joke to do at the Oscars.
Yeah,
That you're in this room of 1,000 celebrities and you're going to order 3 pizzas, and
yeah.
but it is weird that she kept going to Weinstein.
And the part that also pinged for me was Kevin Spacey gives her $40 and he says, "This is for you," like, and she pockets it. She literally puts it in her pocket.
Yeah.
So like that to me, if this is all like we're saying, if this is all a ritual, those things are mocking people. It's mocking the belief that this is nefarious.
Yes.
To do
at the
this.
very least, I think that was an inside joke.
Yes.
At the very least, I think it was supposed to be a dual joke, like it's funny for the public because, haha, look, we're doing this
Right.
mundane thing, and then also
That's perfect subversion. That's like textbook subversion.
So the Academy Awards, the Oscars, are run by the AMPAS, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, which oversees the Oscars. The Oscars are carefully managed by a globalist elite who manage the industry for their own gain. It's comprised of around 9,000 members, but only a small elite group truly wields the power. These individuals are often closely linked to influential globalist organizations like the Council on Foreign Relations, the Bilderberg Group, and the Trilateral Commission. Many of the top winners and nominees have direct connections with these organizations, cementing the idea that the Oscars serve as a tool for the elite. Whistleblower Michael Levine, a former Hollywood publicist and whistleblower, has claimed that the Oscars, along with other major Hollywood awards, are orchestrated by a small circle of powerful people who decide who will win and why. Harvey Weinstein, once one of the most powerful men in Hollywood, was an example of how power and control were handed out in the industry. Whistleblower accounts state that Weinstein operated a partial Illuminati network in Hollywood, rewarding and punishing actors based on their compliance with ritualistic codes. Quote, Fritz Springmeier, an expert on the Illuminati, notes that Hollywood's elite use the Oscars as a way to reward loyalty to their secret networks and punish those who step out of line. How many stars have you seen next to Zelensky? Why are they always doing diplomatic things? We know about Project Mockingbird. We know that these studios and stars are tied into governmental and probably super governmental organizations. Like I said, topical. Since the Oscars just happened, we should have opened with penis and vagina. Amelia Perez. What you got cooked up?
Well, I'm looking at the. I asked who the company, if there was like one company that's a production company that puts on the actual event, but it didn't really say. It just kind of said that AMPAS oversees the event, but the production of the ceremony involves collaboration with various companies and professionals. For instance, Sequoia Productions has been responsible for the Governor's Ball, the official after party of the Oscars, which weird that it's called the Governor's Ball, like you're saying, tied to... There is a link, even on the surface, between this industry and government. Kind of abstractly here, but... we've talked about this before.
I know you're into that. Yeah.
Yeah, like the words as spells and the like shaping of public opinion through these types of acts. Obviously, most people in the conspiracy world are familiar with the concept of predictive programming, like, for example, the Simpsons predictions, the Trump election. He goes down the escalator. It was on the Simpsons years before. The exact, the image is exactly the same. He's like next to a woman in a blue dress behind him. They're going down. There's people, What are the odds?
What are the odds?
What are the odds? The odds are like not. It can't be a coincidence. This is what I'm basically getting to.
Let's talk about some symbolism.
Yes.
The Oscar statue has been theorized to be a symbol of Baphomet, a pagan deity that represents a duality of male and female energy. It's often seen as a symbol of power and a phallic pose while standing while holding a sword, which many believe symbolizes ritualistic power and control. John Todd, a former occultist and Hollywood insider, claimed the Oscar statue's design was purposefully occult, adding that the sword is a symbol of sacrifice and demonic ritual. Why is it holding a sword? I don't think I ever
Never noticed
realized
that.
before this that it's holding a sword. It seems like it should be holding a camera, or I don't know.
A microphone, something.
David
The
Icke.
sword is like one of the most phallic, that's a
Also,
phallic
it's just
symbol.
like not a movie symbol.
Yeah. Oh, it is, they say, a symbol of the protection and defense of the arts.
Okay.
Commissioned in 1928. They wanted an image that represented achievement and prestige in filmmaking. The sword itself is meant to symbolize the knightly virtues of honor, integrity, and courage in defending the creative arts.
Okay. Okay. It's just an interesting choice.
Yeah.
This one gets out there. Jim Mars, author of Rule by Secrecy, and David Icke, man, you can't do a show without mentioning old Lizard Man.
Yeah. Jim Mars blew up in a lot of shit about the JFK assassination.
He's an OG.
He was a journalist for like decades in Dallas, I believe. A credible. He's not
so,
a.
yeah.
He's not a. He had a professional career. David Icke kind of just went sideways, and so he gets discredited.
I think David Icke probably. Well, anyway, he theorizes the red carpet is almost like a blood sacrifice ritual as well. When with the carpet representing like this river of blood, this Babylon, like, which might get a little bit out there until you start talking about whether or not the Oscars and some of the winners and their curses might be like literal sacrifices. I know we should have done this during the Super Bowl too.
Yeah.
Because people say the same thing about these Super Bowl halftime shows.
These are some of the most watched events. So like in real time, millions of people are being exposed to the same images.
Same terminology.
Yeah.
This year's winner was like a Russian rom-com about sex work. Were you familiar with that?
No, I kind of stay out of the loop on pop culture on purpose.
I feel you, buddy. I feel you. So let's talk about some ritualistic sacrifice. The curse of Oscar winners, many of whom have had a fall from grace, scandals, tragic deaths, or career crashes following their victory. Famously, Heath Ledger. After winning Best Supporting Actor for his portrayal as the Joker in The Dark Knight, he died of an overdose in 2008. Some theorists argue that his death was part of a sacrificial ritual, a way to solidify his place in Hollywood's occult system and elevate his role as a symbol of chaos and darkness after playing the Joker. Whistleblower Corey Feldman, former child star, has openly accused Hollywood of using ritualistic sacrifice to eliminate actors who don't adhere to the agenda of its elite controllers. He believes that Ledger's death was not an accident, but rather a transition in Hollywood's dark hierarchy. There is, and if I can find it, I will drop it here. And if I can't, I'm going to continue looking for it until we can do a whole deeper. This is just because it's Oscars week. We're going to do a whole deeper thing. I once watched. It wasn't Corey Feldman. I don't believe it was Corey Feldman. It was another child star. And he's on tape. And I think now he's like some kind of activist, or he's just living a normal life. He claims that as a child, he was like in a couple movies or something, this producer or this director, gosh, I wish I could find it. In fact, I'm just going to say that we'll have a whole other thing about it, but I want to bring this up. Gave him a VHS tape. So go home, watch this, bring it back. The VHS tape was straight up snuff porn. He did as he was told. He watched it, he brought it back, and then it just never, as it would, it just never left him. Why would they show me this murder? What's going on? A lot of stuff with child stars is
That
freaky.
yeah. Well, what's his name? Macaulay Culkin.
Whose brother won an Oscar last night, I think, Best Supporting.
Oh wow.
For that movie, for that Russian.
Interesting. Well, I've seen a lot of. Well, he had that whole. He was in a band.
The pizza.
Yeah, they had a whole Velvet Underground cover band, and all the songs were about pizza.
And this is before the stuff broke.
Yep. And he also
The
has
Pizza Underground. I forgot
yeah,
about
the
that.
Pizza Underground, which if
A child stars. Oh my gosh.
and it's literally just essentially covers of Velvet Underground songs, but all the songs are about pizza. And I've never really listened to the lyrics because at the time I heard it, it was like, oh, this is goofy. He eats pizza in Home Alone. That's his favorite movie. But then there you go. Like there's pizza symbolism in Home Alone as a child star.
Why would you go through the time and effort to do that? To start a band that just does covers, but you just replace everything with pizza.
It's such like
It's just like a thumb in the eye, like, hey, I'm saying your thing
right.
out loud.
But he alleges, I think it was on Joe. Well, I'm not going to say that. I can't remember where I saw it. In an interview, he claims that some producer in Hollywood, he was in this guy's office, and the guy was like, "Hey, look at my shoes. Look, don't you like my shoes?" Made him like look at his shoes, and then told him that they were made out of human leather.
That's exactly the type of story. Yeah.
Like,
They do that to these. Yeah. Why would you do that?
yeah. It even if it wasn't true, that's just still like a disturbing thing to do to a kid.
You ever heard that thing about how Epstein? I don't know where I heard this. Epstein would sometimes use a coffin draped with an American flag as a desk in his office,
I never heard that.
so that when people came in, he'd like give them a mug of coffee, and then like he would use it as a way to like psychologically, like, do you put your coffee on the symbolism of the dead American soldier, or do you hold it?
It was like
he would use it to like read people.
Yeah.
It would be, and then it would be. It's such an extreme, crazy thing to do to somebody.
He's a eccentric, wacky billionaire, or whatever.
or just nobody would believe you,
right.
or they'd be like, "Why are you telling me this? Are you sure you didn't misunderstand?"
Right. Yeah.
And Weinstein did similar. There's all this crazy stuff about, I swear. And now if you Google it, they say that some people say that Harvey Weinstein has genitalia of both sexes, or like an extremely
I've heard
deformed.
that. Yeah.
And then one lady, and I read this on CNN. I will never forget the office I was in when I read it. I swear, says that when he took off his clothes, he shape-shifted.
I've heard that
This
too.
was during the Weinstein trials. Some other people. Sorry, keep going.
Billy Corgan said the same thing, that he saw some music exec shapeshift. Like at the time that they were big, he was in some producer's office, and
The dude shapeshifted.
he's like, "This is my real form," and then went back, and then
People say they shapeshift during like highly emotional times, or as a way to like freak you out, or like, so if you're like, if you have this scared victim in your office, like the Weinstein thing, that would be the time that they would,
right.
it would come through for just a minute. Another couple famous celebrities, Brandon Lee famously died during The Crow. Jim Morrison's family claims Lee's death was part of a Hollywood ritualistic sacrifice. Paul Walker of Fast and Furious. John Todd claims that he was a sacrifice to the Hollywood system. How many other people? Marilyn Monroe. I mean, and you could argue just, okay, live fast, die young, these celebrities.
It's just an immoral place. There's drugs and sex everywhere, and it's hard to. Then you hear like, okay, what's his name? Stephen Baldwin, one of the Baldwin brothers, is like,
I think it's Steven.
he's openly a Christian, and he kind of alleges to all this stuff too that he like says it's demonic. They worship these other entities, and to maintain control and power have to do these things, and if they are out of line, they know their fate because they're the perpetrators of these other people, so
Yeah, and the
this
Oscars
whole-
are the symbolic. We're gonna put you all in one room.
yeah.
We're gonna tell you who's little good boys and little bad boys. Rose McGowan, she was one of the people who blew the whole Weinstein thing wide open.
That was Marilyn Manson's wife, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
She said the Oscars were rigged, used as a control system and an occult system. Corey Goode, who claims to have worked with shadow governments, said that the Oscars are a mind control program, as is Hollywood at large.
He's the 20 and back program guy that says he was like
Oh, yeah.
he was the one who like claims to have dissected aliens and was on this 20 and back to Mars program where 20 years of his life happened and then he got put back in his body. And anyway, off topic.
Also, there should be a best comedy. I never thought of this before, but digging into this, a lot of people complain that there's not like a comedy category at the Oscars.
Oh yeah,
Because like you can make the funniest comedy of all time, but like you're never gonna beat out Schindler's List. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it always has to be some symbolic thing these days. Like the sex work one or the transition one, but like comedy, kind of its role of like poking fun at the powerful, and you could see why they're probably if Hollywood is this spiritually dark place.
mm-hmm.
And it's run by shape-shifting reptilians, and then the red carpet and the guy with the sword and the Baphomet, if that's all like their one big night to reward those who are obedient and to like mind control the populace and stuff, then you could see why they wouldn't allow a comedy.
Well, comedy like blurs lines. It makes you ask questions, and then like it also subverts dark things and makes them digestible.
Yeah, so you couldn't allow. That's the same as like I was watching stuff about Soviet acting teachers.
It also mocks the power structure that
so you couldn't.
Yeah, you couldn't allow
The
it.
elite couldn't. They'll allow the movies, but there's no incentive within the power structure to go for an award for it.
Right.
Think about it, because if you make the drama and you try to pack it full of all the messaging and stuff that you think is going to win an award, if there was a comedy Oscar, you'd probably see a rise of comedies that were actually poking fun at the power structure, which you never see anymore.
Yeah.
Comedy used to be very subversive stuff. Do you think something like Strangelove could even be made?
Mm-mm.
I mean, people talk about what's the famous, one of my friends joked one time. He said, "You could never make Blazing Saddles today because someone else already made it. They just say, hey, this is Blazing Saddles." But they say it about Blazing Saddles, but you don't see politically really subversive poke fun at power. There's certain parties and people you can poke fun of, but you can't you can't have like a CIA is bad and America's role in the world should be dramatically altered comedy. If the Council on Foreign Relations is part of the Oscar circle and the Oscar circle itself is like pro darkness, you got to keep the comedies. Drunk guy needs to pay his rent, and he's got to win over the girl.
Weed guy smoked too much weed.
Yeah.
Shenanigans.
But if you had that as a category, people would be incentivized to kind of poke fun at the Pizzagate thing, or you'd have actual subversive. Anyway, just a side thought. I mean, that's pretty much it. You could go on this forever with all the symbolism, and
It gets into like really abstract, because I was thinking like the vibes, man. What are the vibes? Where get into like the hippie, lower energy, higher energy. Like laughter is a higher energy.
Yeah.
It's like it's joyous. You're happy. You're relieved from a tension on something. Something creates tension and you make a joke. You make fun of it. You literally make it fun. So like that negative lower energy has no power over you anymore. You're literally laughing in the face of it.
The court jester.
Yes. And so like, I don't know. That's kind of I just had that thought. I don't really have a conclusive statement there, but it's just, yeah, like in that vein of what should be allowed and what isn't. So like you're saying the movies are allowed, but they're not celebrated.
Well, yeah, they're not celebrated and they're not incentivized to be meaningful. I think the only political comedy I can think of that made actual waves was that one where, gosh, was it Appetite? It's that whole group. I think it was like James Franco. They go to North Korea.
Oh, yeah.
To assassinate Kim Jong-il. Like, that's as political as you can get, is like, it would be good to assassinate a nuclear powers leader if the CIA told you to, and we are the good guys. Like, that's the form of political comedy, you know. Okay. I did not expect it to go that direction. I wish I had that thought prior to midway through this episode.
Oh, well,
because
I mean, we're coming back to this topic for sure. So,
oh, for sure. Well, drop your favorite Hollywood conspiracy below. Like and subscribe. We love you.
We love you.